Hey, Brian from SnakeBytes here. Ball pythons are hatching like crazy and we've got all kinds of really cool paint jobs. So this week, I'm going to spend some time showing some of them off to you. You're watching SnakeBytes. Ball pythons are truly amazing animals. It's something I've been fascinated with since I was a kid. What makes them so incredible is the fact that they're large enough to be an impressive snake, but not too large to keep. And also, they come in some amazing paint jobs, just like this killer bee right here. I'm going to show you guys some of the hatchlings that we just started to hatch, and we're only about a third of the way into the hatchling season, so it's going to be awesome. So let's head over to the nursery. What was the very first ball python morph that Brian ever purchased? A, pinstripe, B, ghost, C, pastel? Go ahead and comment down below with your answer and check back later in the show to see if you were correct. I'm always so excited around the hatching season, and ball pythons are just so special in the fact that you just never know what you're gonna get. Our first clutch hatch this year had some real gems in them. This happens to be a queen bee yellow belly, which is a four-bang animal. It's got spider, lesser, pastel, and yellow belly in it. Again, that's just a real powerhouse, and just look how beautiful it is. And typically, as these get older, they get better and better. And actually, a sibling to this guy was pretty cool too. We produced these last year, but every time they hatch out, I get excited about them. And this is just a spinner blast yellow belly. Again, it's a 4-gene animal, but this time it's got spider, pastel, pinstripe, and yellow belly. You can just imagine some of the combos I'm going to get from these two animals. You can certainly say I've been going banana crazy this year. I tell you what, bananas are an incredible mutation. They're a co-dominant mutation, and this is the very first year that we here at BHB have ever produced them, and this happens to be a banana lemon blast. What a beautiful snake. Again, it's a banana, a pastel, and a pinstripe, and one of its siblings actually is a pastel banana. You could just take a look at how gorgeous this snake is. Just look at the pastels in that thing. It almost looks surreal, almost like it's got to be a painting or something like that. I guess that's where the term paint job would certainly do this one well. Keeping with bananas, we just hatched out this banana bumblebee. It's a gorgeous animal. Again, this is a pastel spider banana. So it's just a 3-gene animal, but man, I can't wait till this guy grows up a little bit. It's gonna be a shocker. And just to put everything in perspective, the normal banana gene, which is a co-dominant mutation, looks like this. This is just a normal banana. It's a gorgeous snake in itself. There's no doubt the popularity of bananas is just exploding right now. These guys have always been one of my favorites, and that's because it has the fire gene in it, and I'm just a big fan of the fire stuff because it really brightens stuff up and cleans it up a whole lot, especially when it's mixed with pastel. And this happens to be a fire bumblebee, and what a beauty it is. Just look how clean and bright it is. So again, it's just a fire pastel spider, but it's a gorgeous one. Sticking with the same ilk as the fire bumblebee, you can take it one step further, and that's this fire spinner blast. You're basically just adding a pinstripe gene, so it has pastel, fire, pinstripe, and spider in it. You can just imagine what a powerhouse male this is going to be when I'm breeding it into other mutations. This isn't exactly a cutting-edge new project, but still, every time I produce one of these beauties, I get super excited. And this is a blue-eye leucistic. This one is a little bit different than the majority of the ones you see. It's actually a white diamond bred to a Mojave, which makes it a really interesting genetic animal. But again, every time I produce a white snake with blue eyes, or even black eyes for that matter, I just get so excited. You can see this is a little feisty bugger too. Now these guys are really beautiful, and they're only a 2-gene animal, but it happens to be a co-dominant and a recessive. It's a pastel genetic stripe, so it takes a little longer to get them, so when I do produce them, I'm always a little bit more excited than the normal 2-gene animal. But one project that I've just produced for the first time myself, and I'm really excited about these guys because they're really quite beautiful, are these super paintballs. Now this is another co-dominant mutation, the paints being a relatively normal looking snake, but when you breed them together, the super version comes out like this, and I tell you what, that's one cool snake. You guys know that I love the earth tone snakes, so this is right in my wheelhouse. This is actually a black pastel pewter blue yellow belly, so it's got a lot going on with it, but you can see it comes out just that really nice earth tone color with the silvers coming through. I'm really digging this snake. Check out this little guy here. You guys know I love Enchi stuff, and we produced this one about a week and a half ago. This is a super Enchi pinstripe. So the thing that's cool about this is because it's a super Enchi, everything I breed this to is going to be Enchi. And as a matter of fact, its sibling is just a straight super Enchi. Oh man, have I told you guys I like Enchis? Because I really like Enchis. These guys are just gorgeous. This animal turned out really cool, and what do I always say? Everything is better with Enchi in it, right? Well, this happens to be an Enchi Cinnapin. I tell you what, I couldn't be more happy with the color that it came out with. Again, Enchi gets better with age, so this animal when it's 500 or 600 grams should be outrageously cool. We've produced these guys the last few years, but each time I hatch them, I just remember how beautiful they are as babies. And that's Enchi queen bees. That's a powerful animal right there. It's got Enchi, pastel, spider, and lesser in it. You can only imagine when you're taking them into other mutations how incredible that offspring is going to be. Now this animal here happens to have a real soft spot in my heart. It's a mimosa ball python, so a hypo or ghost champagne. It's only a 2-gene animal, but because there's a recessive attach, it takes a little time to get it, but I tell you what, it's certainly worth the time and energy. And lastly, this is actually a cinnamon Woma lesser pinstripe. Again, we've produced these the last 2 years, but unfortunately have only hit females, which isn't a terrible thing, but I certainly wanted my male to raise up, and guess what? We finally hit the male. So this guy is going to be put to work in the next 12 months. Here's a couple firsts for us here. This animal is actually a super chocolate spinner blast. So what it is a super chocolate pastel pinstripe spider. That's a lot of genes in one animal, and the fact that there's a super gene attached to it makes it all the better, because everything I breed it to is going to be at least chocolate, which is really cool. And this animal here is a first for us as well. This is actually a leopard spinner, which I think is really cool. The leopard gene is something we haven't worked with a lot up until this year, so it's really cool to finally produce a little male that's going to have a lot of potential for breeding in the future. This one's definitely a keeper. The one thing that you'll always hear a lot of when I'm showing baby snakes is, this one's one of my favorites, but this one truly is. And again, you might be seeing a theme here that I really like Enchi stuff. This happens to be an Enchi lesser bee. So it's an Enchi spider lesser, but just look how clean and beautiful that is. And as they get older, they just get better and better. And this guy here happens to be one step further in that. This is a pastel Enchi lesser. So this pastel and Enchi is beautiful, and then the pastel and lesser is amazing. So when you combine those 3 genes together, man, you get an incredible animal. And again, some of our yearlings are just mind-numbingly beautiful. Can't wait till this sucker grows up. Check out this beautiful snake here. This is a pastel crystal. Now the crystals are produced from breeding a special to a Mojave. So what we have here is a special Mojave pastel. I tell you what, I'm really digging this animal. And I have some yearlings that are absolutely gorgeous. Now this is what I think is a first of a kind, because I've never seen one before. This is a cinnamon kingpin, and you guys know I like the earth tones and I love the cinnamon complex, so when you mix the cinnamon and lesser, it's really beautiful. Then you're adding the pinstripe into it and it makes it even that much better. Now I have no idea what this one's going to look like, but I'm betting that at 300 or 400 grams it's going to be a stunner. Now this is another first one that I've never seen before, and I'm assuming it's the first time. This is actually an Enchi pastel kingpin. So again, it has Enchi, pastel, lesser, and pinstripe in it. That's a lot of combos that I'm really digging. And lastly, I want to show you these guys here. These are Toffinos. Now Toffinos are kind of interesting because they're actually a combination between a Toffee and an albino, and it's interesting because they're allelic. When you breed a Toffee to an albino, you actually get Toffinos. Now they look pretty similar to an albino at this age, but at about 300 grams they turn really purple and really beautiful. Well guys, I tell you what, I can go on forever just showing you ball pythons, but let's go ahead and look at a quick montage to get you guys caught up at what we've been hatching. Wow, that's a lot of ball pythons. And we're only a third of the way through hatching this season. You can only imagine all the cool babies that we're going to be hatching over the next few months. Trust me, I'll probably revisit this one in another month or two. Let me know what you guys think about all the production.
So anyway, dude, I was watching a show on TV last night, and it said everybody out there has a superpower.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah? You have a superpower.
Yeah, I have a superpower. You don't?
Not that I know of.
Come on, come check this out, man.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's see it, dude. Come on, superpower.
Check this out, man.
Whatever, dude. So I mean, you gotta show me or what? What's the superpower?
This one?
Yeah. Man, Sam, did you know that Jamie had super strength?
Yeah. So?
What do you mean, so what, you have a superpower?
Yeah. You don't?
No. How did you do that?
I'm super fast.
Does everybody have a superpower but me?
Yeah, pretty much.
What's wrong with me? Regan, do you have a superpower?
I do not have a superpower.
You do not have a superpower.
Now go bring me ice cream.
I'm gonna go get you ice cream. Are you freaking serious?
What was the very first ball python morph that Brian ever purchased? If you said B, ghost, you are 100% correct. Good job.
All right, guys, it's not so much a question this week as I have a favor for you. Brian is convinced that we can't get 1,500 comments on this video. I know we got a lot of viewers out there, so I want you guys to leave a one-word comment for Brian, and let's see if we can prove him wrong.
So there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. There certainly are some amazing animals starting to hatch, and we have a long way to go. As a matter of fact, if you want to follow any of that progress, just make sure to hit me up over on Facebook and Twitter at SnakeBytesTV. Until next week, you've been watching Snake Bites.